In this video, we'll understand the concept of quality control within Process Force. But to start off with, let's have a quick review of where you can create a QC test. QC tests can be created from a complaint, from a goods receipt purchase order, from within a manufacturing order, and also a request for a QC test can also be generated using a Business One alert. But to start off with, let's actually have a look at these different processes. So let's go to the goods received transaction. So I have a goods receipt for a particular item. I go to my item, in my context menu, choose the option Create QC Test, and then a list of test protocols are then displayed to me. Now, what is a test protocol? A test protocol is is our standard. It's our standards of doing the test for this particular item. We select the item, and then the quality control form will then open up, create a document number, and then show us what we need to do for testing purposes. This is a very, very simple test, which basically it's telling us that for this particular item code, we need to do a very simple metal test, and it's showing us the test property. And there is actually it's going to be a reference code because there are no values within the expression. And the reference code here is saying that I would like to have a code of 05. I do my test and I put the result. Very quickly though, I can also put in my inspectors. It comes from my list of inspectors table. I can actually put the date of the creation, so I have my life cycle management here for my test. I can then maybe say, okay, moving it to started, and then let's add the transaction of the document. I can then pull back that document, and I can see now that I haven't put any data in terms of a test itself, but I've just raised it as a document. And from here I can see that I have to do a metal test. What other information do I have in place? Well, I can also look at what resources may have to be used to do this test, and also then what items which are linked to the test which are required. In this example, I have some safety gloves. The transaction, which is already provided for me, is telling that yes, I'm doing a goods received PO for this business partner for this batch number on this PO number, which is what the information which we're seeing here, PO number 40, business partner 0001. So it's pulled all that information in for QC tests, so now I've got a link between this test number and this transaction. Coming back to the test result, all I need to put is in a value, and I'm going to make this really simple and said that the tested reference value is no, the desired value was also no. I can change that to a pass, then I can come back to my life cycle and actually say that we've now closed this. The close date was today, it passed, and we passed it today. So that's very quickly then how we can manage the quality control test. Now the QC testing process is in terms of the form is exactly the same for other transactions. So if we go and look at the manufacturing order, so let's bring up a manufacturing order here. We then do the right mouse click, and with the function we can see create QC control test. It goes for the same principle. It looks into the test protocols, so our standards for testing. It shows I only have one here, so I select my standard, and then it brings in the relevant information up into inside of a document. So it's gone through the test protocol which we defined previously, and then it shows me the information which I need to do for testing for this example. At a transaction basis, we can see that we have the manufacturing order, and then from a test perspective we then have the associated tests resulting from the test protocol. If I then look at a complaint, from a complaint form, it's made a little bit smaller, from a complaint form, on the Action tab, I then have the option which says you can also create a QC control test. And so from my complaint itself, if I have to do a follow-up action, I can then link this to a control test, QC test, as we can see here. It's put in the information about the item number, the customer number, and in terms of a transaction, it's put in the batch number as well, and the transaction type, which we can see from the transaction type, which is the PO number, number 1, and the batch number. So all the information is copied across, so there is now a link. And then we just do add, and then we follow forward. So that's how simple it is in terms of doing test control activities within the different parts of the application.